joined today by Lisa Wade, CEO of DigitalX. Lisa, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Firstly, not a tough question, but I think an important question. You've just launched a Bitcoin ETF on the ASX.
Bitcoin, BTXX, that's right, Bitcoin ETF. The People's Bitcoin ETF, as we like to nickname it.
How hard was it?
Oh look, anyone who's launched anything retail and on an exchange would know how hard it is. And a lot of work went into it behind the scene for a number of years. So, hats off to the team and to our partners K2 and 3iQ for the assists. And really exciting time for our company. And I think products on exchanges are hard to list for a reason, and that's because they need to be compliant, and the ultimate purpose is to have safe investments for mum and dad investors. So we're super proud of the structure that we put together, and what we really wanted to do and why we call it the People's ETF is that one of the biggest challenges I have always found in crypto is this management of wallets and keys and the expense that you go to. And sometimes I feel like a little bit of a geek because you just get so used to cold storage and all of the things that we do that are just my day-to-day now. And when I first started at DigitalX, I came to realise that was something that the wholesale funds were sharing with the high net worth investors, and it's something that we wanted to democratise into the retail end of the business. We started off very similarly to where I started at Citigroup back in the day in the market making piece of the value chain, because we have Bitcoin on the balance sheet and we felt like we could offer up some support there with the collateralisation. And then it became really obvious that a company with our stature as a listed company needed to be the vehicle to list the ETF, and that's why we call it the People's ETF, because it wasn't what we set out to do. We're very lucky that we met K2 and they had the license that we can use, and that partnership is really powerful for us. And what we bring is we understand how to use the keys and the partnerships that go into that, and then splitting the cost amongst people. And the bear trust or the entitlement trust is crucial. So the beneficial ownership of that ETF unit is actually part of a Bitcoin, like it's direct look through, and there's lots of products with layers in between, and it was really important to us to bring this simple direct ownership pass through to people so that effectively they've got their own Bitcoin, but they don't walk around with the keys and all of the things that I need to memorize and do every day.
Did you ever think it might have been too hard? That you were at any point, did you think I might just throw my hands in the air and this is getting a bit too hard?
Yeah, I think I still have a broken hand because there was something at the 11th hour always goes wrong when you're listing an ETF, by the way. And the thing that happened almost broke me, and we had to really dig deep to get it done. And in that moment, but we had come too far, and I didn't want to let the shareholders down. And I've actually been in finance for 30 years, and it was a friend who helped us out, and then actually a whole collective of people rallied to the cause then, and that's another reason why it's the People's ETF, because it would never have gotten over the line. I literally had to go through a call sheet and find the help that we needed right at the end, and that's sort of another way that the nickname came up. I'm like, this belongs to everybody now because you've all helped. So,
how important is it that there's the right team in place to guide this forward?
Oh yeah, look, super important. There is so much expertise in so many layers of the value chain that's needed, and that's something that's overlooked in finance because I started at Citigroup, so I'll reference that because it's what I know, and I was at NAB. You just have all of these people that work collectively as a team. You've got backups, you've got everybody interchanging roles, and in a small company, everybody really needs to step up and play different roles and wear different hats. And it's a very technical vocation, finance. Everybody sees the veneer of the high flyers and the fancy cars and all of that, but actually what sits under that is dedication and work. I mean, any young trader will tell you. I mean, when I traded in London, you practically couldn't even go to the bathroom because you couldn't leave the desk. So, there's a lot of hard work and expertise that goes behind it. And I've been reading a book called Mastery, and it's all about apprenticeships. And the apprenticeship in finance really is quite a lot of discipline and, sitting there and being present and doing the work.
Now, you've launched the ETF, and the job's just started.
That's exactly what the ASX said. That was in this is what we tell everybody, the work has just begun. And look, I think that we were doing the work every day anyway. So now to be able to bring that to more people, and I think there's big potential for digital asset ETFs. Now, you've got to get over the trauma of launching the first one, but once you've done that, we are very keen, as we've said in our forward-looking statements, the ones that we make, that we're very keen to develop that as a wholesale to retail part of the business, and really share with mums and dads. And I believe in safety. I'm deputy chair of Blockchain Australia and stepping into the chair role, and it really does bother me sort of the scams and the lack of regulatory perception in the industry, when in fact we are quite regulated. It's just a matter of how we choose to show up for that.
And you also run a funds business. And how does that complement the ETF opportunity?
Oh, that's how we built our muscle of all the expertise. So we manage digital assets. So we're very much across the board digital assets. We do have a share sales business, but in our expertise, our vertical of funds management, that is what we do. And that's why the big push for, have it between 1% and 5% of your portfolio, depending on your risk profile. We don't give advice, but to me, that's a wealth creation opportunity. And that's the muscle that we have built at DigitalX, is how would that little tiny vertical slice of your portfolio be managed properly, be managed in a regulated way, in a way that can bring alpha to your portfolio.
And where to from here? What should investors be focusing on from DigitalX over the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, look, so we do the strategy in a now, next and beyond framework. Now you'll just see us build the muscle in BTXX, that's BTXX, and then you might see in the next 1 or 2 more digital asset offerings to the retail market. And then in the next, there's also a concept called real world asset tokenization. From my point of view, being someone who is virtually living in the future, I think you could say, real world asset tokenization is a super mega trend that's coming in finance. It really is the tokenization of all assets and securities. It's something I've been working on for a very long time from my days at NAB, and that we call 2024 the year of scaling up in real world assets. So you'll see a lot more in that from us. And to me, when we look at our strategy as a mountain, that's the top of the mountain. Now, I'm not saying Bitcoin won't be as important, it's huge. What I'm saying is real world asset tokenization will dwarf the size of the crypto markets as they are now, and DigitalX is really well positioned to pioneer in that space, and we are leading in that space, which obviously doesn't show up in a P&L anywhere, because that's not how it works when you're building new things. So that's why very much in the now we're looking at the funds management revenue via the digital asset products, but really watch this space for real world asset tokenization. And then in that beyond, there's this beautiful thing that crypto does in finance called atomic finance, and DigitalX is a world leader in that. Once you transact on a crypto rail and you see that money and assets change hands, what we call atomic, that is an asset and the cash settle simultaneously, that's the future of finance, and that's what DigitalX already are a specialist in. Right now, we just have BTXX and the wholesale products, if you think about wholesale as well. So I think, watch this space for real world asset tokenization and start to Google atomic finance, because it's super exciting, and we could geek out on that, but I'm pretty excited.
You're excited, we're excited. Exciting times ahead for DigitalX and its shareholders. Lisa, thanks for your time.
Thanks for the opportunity to speak.